need to be honest with you. Something is coming that most people are not taking seriously. Agricultural experts and climate scientists are quietly warning that the 2026 growing season could fail in ways we've not seen in generations. And while I cannot predict the future, I can tell you this: the smart money is already moving. If you are a Costco member, you have access to bulk quantities that most people cannot get anywhere else. And in the next 15 minutes, I am going to walk you through the 10 items you need to stockpile before March, because after that, the window closes. Number 6 on this list is something most preppers completely ignore, but it is the difference between eating bland survival food and actually enjoying your meals during a crisis. And when I tell you about number 9, you are going to realize why warehouse clubs exist in the first place. Hit that subscribe button right now, because this information could be the difference between being prepared and being caught off guard. Let me be clear about why March matters. Spring planting decisions get made in March. Seed orders, fertilizer contracts, crop insurance. All of it happens before the snow melts. If there is going to be a disruption, it starts with those decisions. And if you wait until summer when everyone sees the problem, you will be competing with panic buyers. Let's get into it. Look, grocery prices are rising faster than most people can keep up with. I've done the math for you. I put together a free emergency pantry blueprint that lists the exact 15 items you can get at Aldi, Walmart, or Costco today to feed your family for 2 weeks. It's 28,000 calories for less than the cost of a takeout pizza. You can grab that shopping list for free at the link in the description so you can stop worrying and start prepping. Item number 1 is Kirkland Organic Coconut Oil. Listen carefully, because this first one is sitting in your Costco right now, and most people walk right past it. Kirkland Organic Coconut Oil in the massive tub. I am talking about the 84-ounce container that costs about $25. Now, here is what makes this critical. Coconut oil is one of the most stable fats on planet Earth. Unlike vegetable oils that go rancid within months, coconut oil lasts for years without refrigeration. I have personally used coconut oil that was 3 years old, stored at room temperature, and it was absolutely perfect. But here is what changed my entire perspective on this. Last year, I was reading research from World War II food storage, and you know what fat the military relied on in tropical climates? Coconut oil. Because it handles heat without breaking down. Think about a scenario where your power goes out for weeks. Your butter melts into disgusting liquid. Your olive oil starts smelling funny. But coconut oil just sits there, solid and stable, waiting for you. Each tablespoon contains 14 grams of pure fat. And in a survival situation, fat is not optional. Your body needs it for everything: energy, warmth, brain function, hormone production, vitamin absorption. Most survival food is dangerously low in fat. Rice has none. Beans have almost none. Even those expensive freeze-dried meals strip out most fat to extend shelf life. But 1 container of Kirkland coconut oil provides over 12,000 calories of pure energy. Here is my exact strategy. I keep 4 tubs in rotation. That is over 48,000 calories of shelf-stable fat for about $100. Compare that to survival food companies charging $300 for freeze-dried meals with the same calorie count. The versatility is insane. You can cook with it, obviously, but you can also use it for skin protection in harsh weather, as a base for making soap, for treating minor wounds, and even as emergency lamp fuel if you are desperate. Storage is brain dead simple. Keep it in the original container in a cool, dark place, that is it. No special prep needed. And here is something nobody talks about. Coconut oil makes your stockpile food actually taste good. When you are eating plain rice for the 5th day straight, fry it in coconut oil with a little salt. Suddenly it tastes like something you would order at a restaurant. Morale matters more than people think during extended emergencies. Item number 2 is Kirkland canned chicken. Number 2 is where Costco absolutely dominates every other option out there. Kirkland canned chicken in the 6-pack. Each can contains 12.5 ounces of fully cooked chicken breast. The shelf life on these is officially 2 to 5 years, but I have seen preppers use cans that were 7 years old with 0 issues. Here is why this beats every other protein option. Fresh chicken requires refrigeration and goes bad in days. Freeze-dried chicken costs about $40 per pound. But Kirkland canned chicken runs about $3.50 per can. You are getting premium protein for less than fresh chicken prices, and it lasts for years. Let me tell you what happened last summer. A severe storm knocked out power in my area for 9 days. By day 3, everyone's frozen meat had thawed and spoiled. People were throwing away hundreds of dollars of food. Meanwhile, I was making chicken tacos, chicken salad, chicken soup, all from cans that did not need refrigeration. Each can provides about 60 grams of complete protein. That is more protein than most people need in an entire day. And it is real, actual chicken, not some textured vegetable protein or mystery meat. The texture is surprisingly good, especially if you shred it and mix it with literally anything. Here is my rotation system. I buy 2 6-packs every Costco trip. I use the oldest cans in regular meals so nothing ever expires. Last week I made chicken quesadillas using a can that was 3 years old. My kids had no idea it was not fresh chicken. In a crisis scenario, protein becomes incredibly valuable. Your body cannot function without it. Muscles break down, immune system weakens, wounds do not heal properly. Having a stockpile of shelf-stable protein means you stay strong when everyone else is getting weak. I personally keep 36 cans in my stockpile. That is 27 pounds of pure protein taking up about 2 square feet of shelf space. Try storing 27 pounds of fresh chicken without power and see what happens. And here is a pro tip. The liquid in the can is basically chicken broth. Do not throw it away. Use it to cook rice or add it to soups. You are getting bonus nutrition that most people pour down the drain. Item number 3 is Kirkland Organic Peanut Butter. All right. Number 3 is something every Costco member has walked past 100 times, but probably underestimates. The Kirkland Organic Peanut Butter 2-pack. Each jar is 28 ounces, and here is why this belongs in your stockpile. Peanut butter is one of the most calorie-dense foods you can store. 2 tablespoons contain 190 calories, 16 grams of fat, and 7 grams of protein. And the Kirkland organic version has literally 2 ingredients, peanuts and salt. That is it. No weird preservatives, no added sugar, just pure nutrition. The shelf life is about 2 years unopened, but here is something wild. I have used peanut butter that was 3 years past the printed date, and it was completely fine. The oil separates a bit, but you just stir it, and it is good to go. Now, let me share something that completely changed how I think about emergency food. A survival expert once told me that peanut butter is basically edible survival fuel. You can eat it straight from the jar with 0 preparation. It does not require cooking or water. It stays good at extreme temperatures, and it provides immediate energy. During a camping trip last fall, we ran into unexpected cold weather. Temperatures dropped to the teens, and we were burning through calories trying to stay warm. I started giving everyone a spoonful of peanut butter every few hours. The difference was dramatic. The fat content kept us warm, and the calories kept our energy up. Here is what makes the Costco version perfect: the price. 2 massive jars cost about $11. That is over 12,000 calories for $11. Show me another food source that delivers that value. And because it is organic, you are avoiding pesticide residues that are in conventional peanuts. In a long-term scenario where your body is under stress, that matters. Storage is simple. Keep the jars in a cool, dark place. Once opened, they last several months at room temperature, or you can refrigerate them if you have power. I keep 8 jars in rotation, which is over 50,000 calories of shelf-stable nutrition. But here is the psychological factor nobody talks about. Peanut butter tastes good. When everything else is bland survival food, a spoonful of peanut butter feels like a treat. It keeps morale up, especially for kids who are scared and confused. Item number 4 is Kirkland extra virgin olive oil. Number 4 is controversial in the prepping world, but I am going to tell you why you need it anyway. Kirkland extra virgin olive oil in the 2-liter bottles. Now, some preppers say olive oil goes rancid too quickly, and they are right if you store it wrong. But here is what they are missing. Olive oil stored properly in dark bottles in a cool location lasts 18 to 24 months easily, and the health benefits are so significant that it is worth rotating through your stockpile. Here's what most people do not understand about fats. Your body needs different types. Coconut oil gives you saturated fat, but olive oil provides monounsaturated fat, which is critical for heart health, reducing inflammation, and supporting your immune system. In a high-stress survival situation, inflammation becomes a serious problem. Your body is under constant stress, sleep is disrupted, nutrition might be limited. Olive oil helps counteract that. I learned this from a friend who was a nutritionist. She explained that in Mediterranean cultures, people have survived famines and wars in better health than other regions, partly because of olive oil consumption. It is not just calories, it is protective nutrition. Each 2-liter bottle from Costco costs about $18 and contains roughly 16,000 calories. But more importantly, it makes your food taste incredible. Rice and beans with olive oil and salt taste like a meal you would choose to eat, not survival rations. Here is my storage method. Keep the bottles in their original dark containers in the coolest part of your house. If you have a basement, perfect. If not, a closet away from the kitchen, heat works fine. And here is the key: rotate through it. Use olive oil in your regular cooking and replace it with fresh bottles. That way, your stockpile stays fresh automatically. I keep 6 bottles, which is about 96,000 calories of healthy fat. And I use the oldest bottle first, replacing it every shopping trip. In a scenario where fresh vegetables are not available, the antioxidants in olive oil become even more critical. It is nutritional insurance. Item number 5 is Kirkland organic dried blueberries. Okay, number 5 is going to surprise you, but it is brilliant. Kirkland organic dried blueberries. These come in 20-ounce bags, and here is why they are essential. Vitamin C deficiency is one of the first nutritional problems that shows up during food shortages. Scurvy can develop in as little as 3 months without vitamin C. Symptoms include fatigue, weakness, bleeding gums, and slow wound healing. Dried blueberries are loaded with vitamin C, antioxidants, and fiber. One serving contains about 10% of your daily vitamin C needs. But here is the magic. They last for years when stored properly and require zero preparation. You can eat them straight from the bag. During a 2-week power outage last winter, I noticed my energy was dragging. I started eating a handful of dried blueberries every morning, and within 3 days, I felt noticeably better. The natural sugars provided quick energy, and the antioxidants helped my body handle stress. Here is something most preppers miss entirely: morale food. When you are living off rice and beans, having something sweet and flavorful is psychologically huge. Dried blueberries feel like a treat, not survival rations. Storage is simple. Transfer them from the bag into mason jars with oxygen absorbers. Kept in a cool, dark place, they will last 3 to 5 years. I keep 4 bags in rotation. That is 80 ounces of fruit that requires no refrigeration. Compare that to fresh fruit that spoils in a week. And here is a pro tip. Add them to oatmeal, mix them into rice for a sweet breakfast, or just eat them as a snack. The fiber helps with digestion, which becomes critical when your diet shifts dramatically during emergencies. Item number 6 is Kirkland Organic Quinoa. Number 6 is where Costco really shines for preppers. Kirkland Organic Quinoa in the massive 4.5-pound bag. And before you think quinoa is just trendy health food, let me explain why this is nutritional gold. Quinoa is one of the only plant foods that is a complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids your body cannot make on its own. Rice does not have this. Beans do not have this. But quinoa does. Each cup of cooked quinoa provides 8 grams of complete protein and 5 grams of fiber. And unlike rice, which is basically just carbs, quinoa has magnesium, iron, B vitamins, and antioxidants. The shelf life is incredible. Stored in an airtight container with oxygen absorbers, quinoa lasts 8 to 10 years. Let me tell you about a hunting trip where this saved us. We were planning to catch fish for protein, but the fish were not biting. We had brought quinoa as a side dish, but it ended up being our main protein source for 4 days. Nobody lost energy, nobody felt weak, and we all stayed sharp mentally. Here is what makes the Costco version perfect. It is organic, which means no pesticide residues, and the price is absurd. A 4.5-pound bag cost about $11. That is over 20 servings of complete protein for the price of 2 fast food meals. Quinoa cooks in 15 minutes and absorbs whatever flavor you add to it. Cook it in broth, and it tastes like the broth. Add spices, and it takes on those flavors. The versatility is incredible. I keep 3 bags in my stockpile, which is over 13 pounds of complete protein. In a scenario where meat is unavailable or too expensive, quinoa becomes your protein source. And because it is a seed, you can actually sprout it for fresh greens if needed. Item number 7 is Kirkland iodized sea salt. All right, number 7 sounds boring, but it is literally life or death. Kirkland iodized sea salt. Costco sells this in massive containers, and here is why you need way more than you think. Salt is not optional for human survival. Your body needs sodium to regulate blood pressure, transmit nerve signals, and contract muscles. Without enough salt, you die. It is that simple. But here is what most people do not know. Iodized salt prevents thyroid problems. Your thyroid controls your metabolism, energy levels, and body temperature. Without iodine, your thyroid shuts down. Historically, iodine deficiency was a massive problem until they started adding it to salt in the 1920s. In a long-term survival situation, if you are not eating iodized salt, you are at serious risk. I learned this from a doctor who works in disaster relief. He told me that in prolonged refugee situations, thyroid problems show up within months because people are eating whatever food is available, and none of it has iodine. Salt also makes your food edible. Try eating plain rice with no salt for a week. You will understand why ancient civilizations went to war over salt. It is not just flavor, it is what makes food psychologically acceptable. Here is my strategy. I keep 25 pounds of iodized sea salt in my stockpile. It costs about $8 and will literally last decades. Salt does not expire. Archaeologists have found 2,000-year-old salt that is still perfectly usable. And beyond food, salt has dozens of survival uses, preserving meat, curing fish, making rehydration solution for illness, cleaning wounds, and even brushing teeth. One container of salt from Costco might be the most valuable $8 you spend on your entire stockpile. Item number 8 is Kirkland Organic Tomato Sauce. Number 8 is something I almost overlooked until I really thought about nutrition. Kirkland Organic Tomato Sauce in the 8-pack of 15-ounce cans. Here is why this matters more than you think. Tomatoes are one of the richest sources of lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that protects against cell damage. But here is the crazy part. Cooked tomatoes have more bioavailable lycopene than raw tomatoes. Tomato sauce is actually more nutritious than fresh tomatoes. The shelf life on canned tomato sauce is 3 to 5 years. I have used cans that were 6 years old with no issues. And the Kirkland organic version has minimal ingredients, just tomatoes, salt, and citric acid. In a scenario where fresh vegetables are unavailable, tomato sauce becomes your primary source of vegetable nutrition. It is loaded with vitamin C, potassium, and fiber. Here is how I use it. As a base for soups, mixed into rice for flavor and nutrition, as pasta sauce obviously, or even thinned with water as a warm drink. Last winter, I experimented with drinking warm tomato broth with salt. It sounds weird, but it was incredibly satisfying and warming. Each 8-pack costs about $10, giving you 120 ounces of vegetable nutrition for $10. Compare that to freeze-dried vegetables at $15 for 2 ounces. The value is insane. I keep 4 8-packs in my stockpile. That is 32 cans of vegetable nutrition that requires 0 refrigeration and lasts for years. And here is a pro tip. Combine tomato sauce with canned chicken and rice. Suddenly, you've got a complete meal with protein, carbs, and vegetables. Item number 9 is Kirkland Organic Honey. Number 9 is pure survival gold. Kirkland Organic Honey. Costco sells this in massive 3-pound bottles, and here is why honey might be the single best survival food on earth. Honey never spoils. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs. That was still edible. The low moisture content and natural acidity make it impossible for bacteria to grow. It is literally the only food that lasts forever. But honey is not just sugar. It contains antioxidants, enzymes, vitamins, and minerals. And it has natural antibacterial properties. You can use it to treat minor wounds and prevent infection. During a hiking trip last year, I got a bad scrape on my arm. I cleaned it with water and covered it with honey. Within 2 days, it was healing better than cuts I have treated with antibiotic ointment. Here is what makes honey critical for survival. Immediate energy. When you are exhausted and need fast calories, a spoonful of honey hits your bloodstream in minutes. It is nature's energy gel. And unlike refined sugar, honey does not cause the same crash afterward. Each 3-pound bottle from Costco costs about $17, and contains roughly 8,000 calories. But beyond calories, honey makes everything taste better. Add it to tea, drizzle it on plain oatmeal, mix it into peanut butter, or just eat it straight. I keep 3 bottles in my stockpile. That is 24,000 calories of food that will outlast me, requires no preparation, and has medicinal properties. You cannot say that about any other survival food. Item number 10 is Kirkland Organic Rolled Oats. Number 10 is old school, but it is foundation level prepping. Kirkland Organic Rolled Oats in the 10-pound bag. Here is why oats are non-negotiable. They are incredibly calorie dense at about 150 calories per serving, loaded with soluble fiber that keeps you full for hours, packed with B vitamins and minerals, and they last for years when stored properly. Oats, stored in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers, last 10 to 30 years. That is not a typo. Properly stored oats can last 3 decades. But here is what makes oats brilliant: versatility. You can make oatmeal, obviously, but you can also make oat flour by grinding them, use them as a binder in recipes, make oat milk, or even use them in homemade energy bars. During a week-long power outage, I made no-cook overnight oats by soaking them in water with dried fruit. 0 cooking required, and it was filling and nutritious. Each 10-pound bag from Costco costs about $12. That is 52 servings of hearty, filling food for $12. I keep 3 bags in my stockpile, which is 30 pounds of foundational calories. And here is something nobody talks about. Oats are comfort food. A warm bowl of oatmeal on a cold morning when everything feels uncertain provides psychological stability. It reminds you of normal life. Look, here is what I want you to understand. The items I just shared are not random. They are specifically chosen to cover complete nutrition, long shelf life, ease of preparation, and psychological sustainability. If the 2026 harvest fails, like some experts are quietly predicting, having these 10 Costco items means you are not just surviving, you are actually living with decent food that keeps you healthy and sane. Most people will wait until they see the problem on the news. By then, it is too late. The time to act is right now, before March, while everything is still available and affordable. If this video gave you a clear action plan, smash that subscribe button so you do not miss what I am covering next. Next week, I am revealing the 5 biggest mistakes Costco preppers make that could get them in serious trouble. Trust me, number 3 will shock you. Drop a comment and tell me which of these 10 items you are grabbing on your next Costco run. Stay prepared out there.